So I'm going to give you a very slight introduction of what we are doing at Beamagine. Beamagine is a spin-off of our university, so it's one of the 30 spin-offs that Jiri has been commenting. And we are developing LiDARs, and I will try to make a very, very short look of what can be done and what could be happening in forestry and agriculture soon with LiDARs, although it's pretty evident from what has been said. Even though it has been introduced before, I have also a very, very short introduction to LiDAR that's very graphical, but that's it. The only difference with this very conventional, physical, mechanical LiDAR could be the fact that instead of an emitter, what we are sending is a peak of light, a pulse of light, which travels to the target and then counts time with a detector. Of course, that's the point, then you have to scan. Depending on the type of scanning that you have, there are different technologies that enable you to get that kind of X, Y, Z coordinates, which afterwards you can process, and then you can code in color and get these nice pictures. This is coded in height, could be coded in depth also. Okay, why LiDAR? Why is LiDAR so relevant? It's been said already, it's something which is a huge market. Everybody wants to have a LiDAR, and the reason is the one that Marty said, is the fact that you need essentially backups. You need 3 or 4 sensors which are able to cover all the potential situations that you may be in. And in fact, even if they work all together, you also need backups, because you will find yourself in a situation where there will be draws. Some of them will say break, some other one will say don't break. So you need a third one to break down the draw. So LiDARs are relevant, huge market, it's needed. There have been guys, Tesla has been trying to work without LiDARs, and they have become famous for his accidents because they are not using LiDARs, because cameras are not enough, although they said they would. So we need LiDARs, and if there are 30 startups, it's because it's extremely difficult to build a working LiDAR. Why is it so difficult to get a LiDAR sensor for autonomous vehicles? Well, the main issue, Fujitsu just has launched a sensor who is a LiDAR which works at night. Okay, great, but that's not fully useful. The really difficult thing is sunlight, and of course fog, as we've been discussing previously, because sunlight is adding noise to your signal. You got the noise that you normally would have from an electronic system, but then you have an optical noise at the same wavelength, which is going to rise your noise level, so your signal-to-noise ratio is going to be much worse. That's difficult, especially if you work with wide fields of view. You want to have 60 by 13. At the same time, you want long range and very high spatial resolution. The standard that automotive is launching is something like, they change the distance, but they are saying, okay, if I'm driving at 120 kilometers per hour in the highway, and I need to slam the brakes, what I need is to say that at least I have something at 150 to 200, depends on the end user, meters, and the thing that I want to detect has to be as tall as the area that you can have free below the bumper, which is 10 centimeters. So seeing 10 centimeters, or detecting 10 centimeters and making actions out of something which is 150 meters away, and which in many cases is black, is difficult, at least. In addition, you want to be real time. In addition, you would prefer not to have moving elements. So the mechanical scanning is an option, it's working, and they are working on it, several companies, but not having moving elements is a must. And of course, it has to be class 1A safe. So it's not an easy game. There are a lot of clever engineers all over the world trying to manage this. And when you end up with these things, a question is, nobody from Beamagine in the room. Is there someone from Beamagine in the room? No, okay. When you end up with these things, you go to your Italian car designer and you tell him, okay, you have to put a coffee pot on the top of the vehicle, okay? So it's impossible. Besides, there's cost, which is another issue which needs to be managed, and bad weather performance, which also needs to be managed. So it's, LiDARs work, but there's a long path of development, and there's something which is not going to be tomorrow working. We are very, very close. We have a very, very good solution. Sorry. We have a very, very good solution because we had an idea some time ago using a kind of optical multiplexer which enabled us to remove almost all the background light under the Spanish sun, which is quite a solution that we can get off. This is without applying our solution of background suppression. This is applying our background suppression system in that condition. So we are able, when we point at that building 100 meters away, we are able to get up with a nice signal which enables us to have images. And out of that, we patented the design. The design has no moving elements. It's fixed. It's sunlight tolerant. We can deliver 600,000 points per second, and we get a wonderful balance between frame rate and image spatial resolution. Plus, the camera can be shaped for its integration. This is a prototype, can be half the size. No custom optics here already. Can be half this size. No maintenance. The Velodynes, the mechanical scanners, have more maintenance issues than these one things, and that's very relevant. All components are off the shelf. You just buy the components, you don't need special developments. Finally, we have full waveform digitization, which enables us to have hard environment managed. So it's a quite good solution. We got now 9 patents protecting the number of inventions that we have, and the 9 patents have been licensed to an automotive tier 1. So we are jointly developing with them a potential system, which could be the final things, and we have results. But before the results, I would like to show you a little bit how this system is positioned. We call it an L3 cam. The L3 cam this is the range that things can get. This is the resolution that you can get. This is, the green area is the area which is more or less assumed or used for automotive applications. If you compare range and resolution, we get ranges which are not bad, with resolutions which are not bad compared with flash lidars. Flash lidars are low resolution, but mapping lidars have very much higher than us. Mapping lidars which are mounted on a tripod and these kind of things with mechanical scanning. We got high resolutions, but if instead of range we plot, if instead of resolution we plot frame rate, we are still in the high range. We have very, very good frame rates. And we have also the come down of the mapping lidars. In mapping lidars, you have low frame rate at the expense of having very large spatial resolution. And we've been building these systems, or variants of these systems, for the last 8 years. So we've built a number of them in different configurations. So for the moment, we are very, very good at knowing which type of unit we have, which are the specs of the system, and we can deliver things very much on demand. These are typical results that we are having. There was a system which was optimized for spatial resolution that we developed. This is huge spatial resolution. We do not only have the depth encoding, we also have the intensity encoding. So we get the reflectance image. As we are digitizing the full waveform, we are able to know where is the image, or which image, where is the maximum of the point, and which is the height of the intensity of the point. So we're able to recover these things. And you can say this is a trick because this is indoor, but no, it works also outdoor. Okay, this is July next to Barcelona, so it's something very, very close to the solstice. So it's almost maximum solar radiation. It's 1,000 something lux. So it's a lot of light, and it's working. I also wanted to, I use this image to train a little bit you, because you will see, now we have a video, but it's difficult to see which are the things that you see. Note that this is the type of images that you are getting. That's more or less clear. You will see sometimes that, of course, if we have the full point cloud, in some moments we get to this type of arrangement because we got the point cloud, the vehicle is here, but then you are moving upstairs, you're moving up in different levels of range. So you get images down to 200 meters, although you got good resolution up to 800 meters. This is some kind of cooperative object you have there, so you get something which has good reflectance. Okay, and this is a parallel camera, this is a GoPro, which is on the dashboard of the car. The thing has been synchronized, so this thing is a little bit advanced related to that one, so you look here and then you identify what's here. If I only place this thing, we found that people don't understand really what's happening. Then it comes the video point. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Okay. That's not expected. Okay, but I mean, you can see it. The thing is coded in depth. In this case, if I can access there, I will move it, but we can be, I mean, it's a 3 or 4 minute video. If anybody's interested, I can show it later. You are turning on the car. It's 5 frames per second in this case, and 600 by 200. Now you stop in here, and then you can see, I mean, you can see the traffic light perfectly, the tree. When you move up from the point cloud, you see objects which are very, very far away, which is a building which is here with text reflectance. I'm going to make it, to move it forward to some nice points. For instance, here you see it, how it's advancing through the street that we saw before, okay, with the range that you are getting, solid state, okay. Now he will stop in the headlight, and you may see perfectly things as, of course, the car that's in front of us, the ceiling of the petrol station. This is the window which has a panel here. You can see the panel, you can see the cars running in front of you, the motorbike, the guy who crosses the street and goes running. Okay, so it's quite a good resolution. This thing is the sign, this thing is this sign, because it's back reflective, so it has very intense reflection. And if you want to move to another nice point of the scene, I would say it's around here. There's a roundabout. Okay, I think it's coming now. You can see it from the side also, of course. You got all the point clouds, so you can navigate it. And now it comes down and sees a roundabout, which is a very spectacular point, in my opinion. No, we are apart from that. That one, that's what I wanted to show. You see the roundabout, you see the tree, you see the cars through the roundabout and beyond the roundabout. So, well, it's performing, you move it, you see things which are pretty far away, and you see the signs, you can identify all the objects, and now, of course, that processing. It's very important, very important that this is not processed. We don't have made any processing, but a little bit of filtering out of outliers. We only removed points. But there's no smoothing, there's no iterative accumulation, and so on. So I think it's a pretty impressive result. It's very difficult. I mean, I'm not seeing this kind of solutions very often at this level of performance. This is the performance that we can reach with the system. Can be 1064, can be 1550, works in both cases. And these are typical specs. I want to insist in that. I mean, we are developing systems at 100 frames per second. Making the right trade-offs. So you need to tell us, okay, I want to make that. We've not a lot of know-how. We've been working in the university for several years prototyping electro-optical units, and we have 8 years in Lidar imaging. We got here 7 prototypes already for sale, and we are going to have, by the end of 2019, the first commercially available units, which are going to be class 1 at all distances. Now we are class 1 at 1 meter of distance, and the size will be cut to half. So, of course, and we develop an application, we got a visualizer, things like that. Okay? So that's not only automotive is something which has been licensed, so what we are trying to exploit are the other markets which are not automotive, which include all these things. We have been exploring space, and we have a system in space. We have off-road vehicle navigations, mining, railway, robotics, underwater, maritime, security defense, aeronautics, and, of course, agriculture and forestry. Because if Volvo is working very intensely in making automated vehicles for quarries, which is not the same case, I perfectly understand it, but, I mean, it's the first step. So it's a trend which is going to move over. If you look at agriculture, there are at least 3 companies which are building different types of, this is an autonomous tractor, which is built by an American company. This is for precision agriculture. They are using an automated vehicle for analyzing ground and things like that. And this is a vehicle from Bosch, which is a company related to Bosch, which is Deep Field Robotics, which is building something they call the Pony Rob, which is a carrot picker, essentially. Okay? So that's the trend. How can this penetrate in forestry? Well, it's difficult to say. Up to the moment, it's being used for forest analysis and management, fire prevention, this kind of issues. But the drivers in this sector is the same drivers that we have in all the other sectors. So you need better cost reduction, better productivity, safer work environments, automated inspection of the environment, or support to humans. Potential uses, and I know of Lidar, so I don't really know if what I'm saying is a complete nonsense, but it looks like having larger capacity and more ecologic or lower weight or something better for the ground regarding the forwarders is something which looks quite normal because it's something which drives through our path. Sensorized, supervised, or semi-autonomous harvesters, another opportunity. And in any case, for these issues, we are going to need improvements, we need more data fusion, and we need better sensing so we can contribute there. And just as a final slide, no, 2 slides. We want to add that we have, that's again a Beamagine, and we'll be developing something because that data fusion issue has a problem, which is the fact that when you want to fuse this with this, the fusion of this data with this data is not obvious because you sometimes, there are parallax errors with the cameras and things like that, and there are different ways of superimposing at different distances. And what we've done is to develop a system which is able to build both the active and the passive imaging. So with the same field of view and through the same optics, we are able to get the same image from the Lidar and the camera. So this makes it extremely easy, or more easy or easier, to register or to superimpose the RGB image with the CMOS, the Lidar image with the RGB image. And of course, this active imaging enables us also to build in this unit hyperspectral imagers or polarimetric imagers, which in particular polarimetric imagers can be proposed in order to improve the behavior of the Lidar under the fog. So that's all. Thank you very much for your interest. That's the contact. Feel free to contact us. I have more videos. I can show you videos of the self-registered Lidar. And again, thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you very much.
What I was actually pointing out is that there seems to be that you are using 2 different wavelengths. One...
We are essentially working in 1064. That's why we are not still fully eye safe. We are currently having 10% reflectivity data at 80 meters with 1064, but we need to be not eye safe the first meter. So the next prototype, or the prototype that we are currently developing, we are combining 2 different, we are changing the scanning approach in order to be more, to gain in eye safety. First one, and in the second time, the other path is to go 15-15. We are trying to go 15-15. 1064 is better than 905 for eye safety, but 1550 is 2.5 times, I think, better when you want to make it. So
that's what I was actually wondering when I saw the power as well. But actually, my question was more about why 1064? Is there some reason in order to do it, like components available, or what's the reason?
There's an issue with components available and with cost. If you go 1550, you need InGaAs. If you need InGaAs, the cost issue goes a little bit upwards. So we don't need the type, first of the issue of the cost, then we have an issue with that the component is difficult or harder to get with the specifications that we need. So as far as the system is completely agnostic regarding the wavelength, it works in 1064, you change the optics, modify the design, then you are done it. So we started to develop the concept at 1064 and now we are moving to 1550. Yeah.
So you mentioned already there is this forestry sector. So now I think that the good audience to give some points related. How ready? So you're pointing out that there is coming to new, but honestly, how ready this technology is to using in forestry industry?
Well, what we were discussing yesterday is that, what I was saying to everybody is that, harder than automotive, it's not going to be. You don't need to detect something black at 200 meters, which is 10 centimeters wide. So you can work at shorter distances. You are safe, much easier, and it's about specifying what is needed, in fact. We are TRL7, we could be TRL9 in short distances. TRL9 essentially is about getting the eye safety at all distances. So if we are working at shorter distances, we just take the laser down the power and that's it. It's an issue of cost for the moment. It's expected to go down, but it's currently a system which is costing a few thousands of dollars or euros. So depends on the type of thing that needs to be done. Our goal has been to develop the TRL7 so people mount it in prototypes or in vehicles and start the learning processes of the systems, and then we can deliver the final prototype in next year, the final system next year.
So what could be the ideal cooperation partner, what you think about in Finland, for example? So what kind of company, what kind of application could be interesting for you? Not only to forestry, but in general.
What we want is to develop things outside of automotive. We have a very, very nice deal with the guys in automotive because everything we develop for automotive can be used in other sectors. So if we get to industrializing the thing in automotive, it will be industrialized for all sectors, and they want us to test the system in other sectors. So I think it's going to be nice. The type of developer that I feel that we will need, we will never make a machine for forestry, we will not make a forwarder. So what we would need is either people using Lidar data, which can use or which need this type of performance in the Lidar sensor, but ideally people building machinery or interested in building automated machinery, so we can become the providers of the Lidar sensor in some time. That's the goal.